What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out the demo for Fabledom. This is a colony survival game set in sort of like a storybook medieval world. As far as I understand, it seems like from the intro and whatnot, there's going to be combat and things of that nature, but the game is wrapped up in silky smooth visuals. It's got some cool systems, and so we're going to dive on in today and spend about 30 minutes with the demo and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or otherwise pass on. If after watching this, you wanted to get the game for yourself and try out the demo, vet my thoughts about the game, you can absolutely do that. I've got a link for you down in the description. On top of that, you'll also be able to find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream, just in case you wanted to hang out live. Let's go ahead and start a new game before we waste any more time with just talking along.
It's a story you want.
All right, so the first thing we got to do is we're going to have to select the area. Oh, it's randomized every time. Interesting. So the countries seem to be the same, but when I started it up last time, I had kind of like this European sort of peninsula that went out with like another continent south of it. This time around, it's completely and totally different. That's good. That'll aid replayability. I've always liked little kind of stone hearth systems like that. All right, so we will just go with Griwith because they're right here, and honestly, I always like the seaside countries. I'm also looking at Safutria, but these guys have mountains. I like mountains. You gotta have mountains to have like a really, really good storybook story, you know what I mean? We also get to name our kingdom. Apparently, I am a prince that is looking for a princess. My name is not Fart. That's a holdover from the last time I played. We'll go ahead and just give it something more standard. There we go. We'll call it Splattercat instead of Prince Fart, which is undeniably hilarious. Don't get me wrong, that's funny, but, you know, let's keep it serious.
Once upon a time, it goes, a story told of love and woes, when all the kings and queens of yore sent forth their children to explore. New lands of plenty, fields and trees, fertile, yielding, birds and bees. It's your turn, prince or princess you. Discover, conquer, daring do. Remember, friend, 'tis not just sword that makes one lady or a lord. To build a kingdom, 'tis an art, but don't neglect your spirit's heart. Through love or war, these lands ignited shall ever after be united. Now go. Be kind, be cruel, be scrappy, and make your ever after happy.
Rhyming rhythm and scheme. Who doesn't love it? So here we are. Welcome to our colony, and we are in Chapter 1. I have no idea how long this demo is going to go, but we need to get started by doing the basic tutorial tasks, so we'll just kind of knock those out real quick. And $10 for that, dude? Man, I need to change careers. I need to spend a lot more time, like, being a disembodied fantasy colony survival camera. They get paid really well. All right, so we've got to do a laborer's hut, assign a laborer. So there's our laborer's hut right there. The laborer's hut is going to send out builders so that they can work on houses and things. So we'll go ahead and put that right there. It also wants me to build a road. So we'll go ahead and take a road, and we'll just kind of run it across to right there. And I'll probably just kind of I don't know if I'm going to box this in, actually. Hopefully it despawns. But once the laborer's hut is down, we've got to assign a worker. So there it is. We now officially have our first builder. And then we need to start placing houses. And everything has the little arrow. I talk about this every time we play a survival game, a colony survival game. It's got an indicator arrow. They never have that. All right, so we'll go ahead and put this house right here. And in this game, your house has expansions to it. And so anyways, you can take this little green box and you can give these people a little bit more space if they want to live inside of it. So we could take this and make it a little like homestead right there. So they'll enter through the door right here, and they've got like a little stall for a chicken coop in the back. Basically, this is kind of the same system that Foundation has going on, which is actually a very, very good thing, because I personally think that Foundation is one of the better city builders out there when it comes to like innovation interesting ideas, modularity, randomization. Like, Foundation is a very, very enjoyable little title that's been in development for a very, very long time, and so I'm glad to see other games kind of incorporating some of those ideas, like a house with like a big fence around it, and then the little villagers build random things inside their yard, and then you can force them to build stuff like apple trees or dog houses or things like that inside of there, so that every single house kind of has like that custom feeling to it. It feels kind of lived in.
Homestead. Yippee! This is where your fablings live and eat. A head of household is required for the homestead to operate smoothly. Now, make sure one has been assigned, won't you?
Yeah, it should do that automatically, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's the person that has the little house next to him when you go over the homestead. They want me to build another homestead. Oh, they just wanted 2 attachments. Okay. I don't think we have enough houses for everybody right now. Yeah, I think we're going to need another house because this only stores 3 people. But let's get on top of the well situation first so that we can avoid like fires and people can drink water and do all that kind of fun stuff. I think I would like the well to kind of like be right there. I'm going to build sort of randomly this time around. So some buildings need upkeep to stay in good condition. Okay. What's the... Oh, yeah, it costs $3. Okay, so anything that has to do with, like, a public service, basically, is going to cost us a little bit of scratch. Let's get another house down. And, in fact, I think I'd like it to be right there. I'm going to try... Like, I fall into this habit all the time with games like this, where I end up building kind of... Well, I don't know if I like it, but I'll do that right there. I fall into this habit where I build everything in squares when I play games like this, and so I'm trying to avoid that this time around. I want it to look a little bit messier. I don't know... Let's go ahead and we'll actually undo this. And instead, I want to run a road down this way. It looks like that's going to knock out some trees. Oh, the trees fall over when you run a road through them. They go down like they're chopped. Okay, finish building 2 homestead. That's exactly what I am after right now. I'm working on it. That seems okay to me. Build away. So we'll drop 10 wood on in there. We've got 40 wood left. I assume we're going to get lumberjacks and stuff fairly soon. But our sleepy little hamlet is good to go. Let's check out some of these animations on some of these little guys. So we've got crate carrying. Do we have, like, all ladies in our town? Is there, like, any dudes in our town? I see 3. Where's the 4th person? It says we have a 4th person. Oh, they're actually, like, growing stuff over here, too. I saw, like, a little plant thing pop up. Yeah, so when I was playing around with this game prior, just to, like, get a feel for the controls, what they build inside of here is randomized. You don't know what each house is going to have. So, like, I built a house in my last one, and they built a chicken coop, and they had, like, chickens running around their yard, and they would, like, harvest the chickens for food. This time around, they've got, like, a little planter box, and they've got a beehive. So that's, hey, they've got the chicken coop. There, look at those little chickens, dude. Walking tendies. So we've got newcomers. Very nice.
Happy, more will want to join. As long as there is room, of course. Welcome, welcome.
All right, so we got to do food next. They want us to do a farm. Gotcha. I'll probably put the farm right here. Well, do we have a lot of space? Let's put a farm right there. And I'm guessing this is going to want fields. So we've got pumpkin crops. How many should I build? I actually don't have a good reference for this. Let's do just like a... Oh, I don't know. Oh, wow, you can make it big. Okay, we'll start out with that right there, and we can always modify it after the fact. Maybe it'll turn out okay. Go ahead and build it. It's going to cost us a little bit of scratch to get that done. And I think we are going to have to assign farmers in order to get our pumpkins. I'm not like a giant pumpkin guy. I don't know. Like, I like the pumpkin season, like autumn. Like, I like the season of the gourds and the pumpkins. But in general, aside from, like, baked pumpkin seeds or, like, fried pumpkin seeds, I don't really eat a whole lot of, like, pumpkin product. I do like pumpkin pie, but, like, I feel like you take a whole bunch of sugar and spice and you add it to anything and it becomes palatable. So I feel like the pumpkin pie is a little bit cheating in that regard. But there's our farm. We got to assign some workers. So I will go ahead and put 2 farmers on there.
Farmers will arrive soon, but there's no available housing. To see how many days are left until the next arrival, hover over the population icon at the top of your screen.
Yeah, it looked like they wanted a little bit more pumpkin farm right there, so I added another line. We have 2 farmers. We'll see how they do. Oh, they do have like a sowing thing that they do over here, so they are actually throwing out seed and whatnot to plant. And there it is. They came up quick. Apparently fertile soil. They got the good stuff out here, that earthy black soil. That's that good stuff right there. All right, so we're running a little bit low on wood, so the game wants us to build a lumberjack. I think we could probably do that. A lumberjack, you know, honestly, feels like it's probably best off like over here. And that kind of lines up with a little gap right there. Yeah, let's do it. And it's got an attachment right here, a forester. Oh, so we can get someone that actually plants the trees too. Okay, I guess I probably should have expected that. There we go. We'll kind of put that right there. I like how there's little, if you look at the roads, there's little wagon ruts that fill in with water. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so apparently somebody's got wagon wheels around here. Somebody's got like that, you know, that Aston Martin wagon helping them move the tools around the frontier. I like that the building's fairly quick, too. Like, some games, like, the building takes forever, man. So we have 1 unemployed guy. We will assign the 1 unemployed guy to go be a lumberjack. And hopefully, I don't think the trees are going to replenish, given the fact that the game has access to a forester node as well. But they want me to place 3 decorations. Could probably do that. I have always kind of been a sucker for cypress trees. I'm going to put down some cypress trees. I like cypress trees a lot. There we go. So we'll have like a little cypress row over here. And then maybe we'll do another cypress row over here. Maybe that'll be like culturally the way that we divide properties with cypress trees. That tends to be, these right here are usually used as blocking trees when it comes to civic planning. So like city planning and whatnot, cypress trees are great because they're trees that grow like walls and they intermingle with one another. And so if you're trying to establish privacy between property lines, I lived in a house when I was a kid growing up that had probably 15 cypress trees along the back fence. And they all ran together, and it basically created like this block so that you couldn't see through it, and there was like a 2-story house behind ours, and it basically kept their 2-story from looking into our house or whatever. It's kind of cool. And then there'd be like little squirrels and stuff that would live inside the cypresses, and they would jump in between them, and they had like tunnels running through all the branches and whatnot. They would like clean out in the spring and throw all their garbage out into the backyard. It was, well, not great. It was cleanup, but... A secret admirer?
Well, I suppose there's no accounting for taste. Just joshing. You can open it by clicking the letter icon at the top center of your screen.
Voice acting seems to be fairly on point, too, and I think they just, like, selected their soundtracking well for the storybook sort of hyper-saturated, colorful vibe that they're going for. Like, everything seems to be coming together here. Giovanni. Hey, beautiful, you are the talk of the realm. Look at us. We're sitting on a gold mine. Would you be interested in a business partnership, Cupid permitting, a partner in more? I don't know, man. I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more chin on my ideal man. Like something, you know, a head that wasn't shaped like a squash, you know what I mean? He's got like a zucchini frame thing going on. All right, let's see. What's up next? So reach the population milestone of Hamlet. That means, oh, they want to stay. Okay, well, I guess they'll get dismissed for right now. I should have built another house while I was waiting. We need a place for the farmers to live. And so I think this is probably a good spot to do that. There we go. We'll kind of just cut it together. Looks good to me. We're running a little bit low on cash, but that'll give us 3 more slots so that more people can move in. And then over here, maybe we'll have a road that runs back here. Seems all right. There we go. It's a little bit lacking in grass and lushness once I've made roads everywhere, but I think I can live with it. So is the lumberjacking happening back here? Oh yeah, there it is right there. I was going to say, I was trying to listen for where the lumberjack was, or the lumberjill in this case, but it looks like she's working on that tree. Oh, the tree actually has HP. You can click on it, and it's like an entity. That's kind of cool. What's going on? Oh, they built a little dog house, dude. They've got like a little dog homie. Nice. I think I'm going to need another well. I may have spread out a little too much. But the wells are expensive. But we've got 27 overhead. Maybe it'll be okay. Yeah, 27 overhead isn't too bad. We could take another hit for 3 right there. So I'll go ahead and put in another well just to make sure that everybody's got access to water. Do we have any indication of things that they want here in the future? So desirability, clothing line, doghouse. Oh, they build their own desirability. Hey, we got pumpkins coming in now. How's the pumpkin harvest going to go? Oh, there's also weather effects, so it's raining now. Oh, and the rain actually makes the water build up inside the ruts even more. That's kind of cool. Do we have to worry about flooding, or is that not going to be an issue? Still, I'm impressed by the level of detail that's going into this title right now. Like, they absolutely, I didn't expect there to be, like, when it rained, I didn't expect little puddles to open up on the ground and for, like, all the little wagon ditches to fill in. Like, that's good. That's really, really nice, in fact. Let's get a final house down on in here. There we go. And so now that the house has been built, do these guys benefit from having these cypress trees over here? I might need another cypress right there. It's going to bother me if I don't put another one in. Oh, apparently there's like a natural gap. Never mind. Okay. I take it back. We can also get some bushes and stuff. It doesn't look like we can place them inside the property area, though. So we'll have to keep that in. Oh, we can build a public outhouse. Even better, now with extra wide gaps between the planks to keep you on your toes. Yeah, of all the floors that you could fall through, I think that falling down into the outhouse on top of a stalagmite of human refuse would definitely not be the way that I would want to go about my week. I'm not trying to be negative, but, imprinting myself like an Acme accident on top of Dookie really feels like it would throw sort of a spanner in the overall enjoyment of my time. Taking a look through the UI while I wait, because we got to wait another 10 days till we can max out our population. There are military buildings in here, so this is not going to be a purely peaceful game. This is definitely going to be a game where you got to defend yourself, because there's watchtowers, there's walls. Inside of here, we've got military districts. It looks like we're going to have some kind of heroes that maybe we'll be able to supply, maybe equip them and send them out on sort of like Majesty-style quests. That's a game that you almost never see referenced, and I deeply, deeply wish that someone would like go back in and start incorporating some of the ideas in Majesty into their games. You don't really see that too much anymore. I think there's Heroes Rest is the one game that I saw that was like, oh, this is clearly inspired by Majesty. Like, this is a game that, if you guys never played Majesty before, Majesty was a city builder. But there were quests all over the map, and you were building a city in service to heroes that would come to visit your city, and then you as the lord, you would post kind of like bounties if someone would go into the dungeon over there, or you would post bounties if someone would go and fight this orc horde that's headed towards the city, and basically it was a really, really interesting game. I liked Majesty a lot. We've got some new stuff. We've got an inn, we've got territories, it looks like we've got a stone camp, a coal maker, a granary, and a forester. Okay, so we can actually get the attachment for this guy over here. I don't think we're going to need it anytime soon. What's wrong with you? The storages are full. Okay. Well, our peasants have arrived here, so let's kind of like slow the game back down. We'll claim our 50 bucks because we do have some building to do. And it looks like we've got a granary. Oh, I've got to build the forester in order to make this happy. All right. There you go. Your forester has been built. I have complied with the desires that the game has put out in front of me. Food seems to be net positive. I don't see any way to get graphs or regressions of like happiness, population growth, cash flow, resource tracking. That's one of those things that I would recommend having. I think every city builder should have those. It's possible that since we're just playing a demo here today that hasn't been implemented yet, but just as kind of like an aside or like a tap on the shoulder, I very, very, very much, especially with games that have like delayed outputs. So for example, your farm. You don't just build a farm and every X amount of time the food ticks up. They've actually got to plant, they've got to wait for it to grow, and then they've got to harvest and bring it back. When you've got delayed output like that, it can lead to sort of these catastrophic banish-style situations where you're actually losing food at a really high rate, but you just don't realize it because of that delay, and it seems like everything's okay, and by the time you notice the food has fallen off, you can't fix it in time, and you got to load a save or restart. Graphs help out with that. I'm the kind of person that like clicks on this and watches the graph to see if it's trending even slightly downwards. a lot of the time, so I tend to toot the horn about that a lot. So we've got a coal maker, and we've got a stone camp, so we actually need to find a stone deposit. There is a stone deposit over here. Oh, you've got to put it on top of the stone deposit. Okay. Let's have it go in that way, since we've got that shared room right there with kind of... I like it. I'd like it if the property's all connected. Like, I'm trying to make some good sprawl here. Wow, what a pretty game. Does it have, like, a film grain effect, though? I don't see a film grain effect, but I'm getting, like, a very, very slight fuzziness that feels like it's over the top of it, almost like a film grain. It might just be the volumetric fog that's causing that to happen. It's kind of hard to... What are those? Hold on, there's thingies out here. Oh, there's little piggies, dude. There's like little... What are those?
Cute are those pigs? I hope they don't end up getting eaten.
Apparently, they are plump and friendly pigs with non-functioning wings. It's okay. In my heart, you can fly, little adorable animal. I've always wanted a pet pig. I've been running this idea by my wife for like the last 2 years, just kind of like gauging levels of interest, where I want like a pig, you know what I mean? Like a pig that lives in my house with like tusks, and it just hangs out, and it's like my own personal Pumbaa. I've heard that pigs are just as intuitive and way smarter than dogs. That's what I've been told. And so like if I can train a dog, I can train a pig, and like a pig is like a 400-pound dog that has giant spears coming out of his face. And then, like, if intruders come into my house, I'd be like, oh, what would I name him? I got to come up with a name. I'd be like, Albrecht, get him. And he'd be like, wah! You know, like, I'm kind of excited about this idea. Like, having a battle pig that lives in my house and hangs out on the couch with me, and, like, I could put him under blankets, and we can just, like, be Netflix buddies. It feels like the kind of thing that's like a match made in heaven. It seems like the sort of thing that's really going to work out. I see no way that incorporating a giant animal with a face full of spears into my home could ever backfire or have any unexpected consequences. We do have a stockpile available. I would recommend maybe we put the stockpile right here. Like, it's going to be a little inefficient, but I was trying to strike like a gap. Oh, there's an editation mode? Oh, I can put a lot on it. Cool. Yeah, put some lots down. That sounds good. Cast those lots. And so apparently I can decide what gets stored inside of here too. Does anybody have to work at the stockpile? Because if nobody has to work at the stockpile, I can just knock out another one over here. Like, easy peasy. Like, they drop stone off at this place, they drop wood off at this place, and then we don't end up with any weird resource stopgaps. But man, what a good-looking game. It's really, this actually, I would keep an eye on this one. They seem to have a real understanding for what it is they want to do with their game. And everything from the visuals, to the sound design, to the voiceovers, to everything else feel pretty good with this one. Like, I'm definitely used to being sent much more rough, sort of Banished-style games. Like, this one's got kind of that oomph to it. It's got a little bit of that, it's got that magic to it. I can feel it. It's in there. Somebody cares about this. Let's see. Overview. Ah, did they give me access to my graphs now? Well, maybe there is a graph view. We just haven't unlocked it yet. Maybe there's some kind of, like, tax collector or, like, statistician or something like that. Did they drop food off inside of here? Oh, the granary. I failed to think about the granary. I would love for this material cart to go away. I want it gone. But the granary, I didn't even think about that. We definitely want a granary. I'll put a granary down right there. Granary, very, very important building for any city, really, during this time period, if we can even call this a time period. The granaries are what make sure you don't starve when the lean seasons arrive. I don't have any workers assigned to there, but I do have 3 unemployeds, so I can add 2 to go be quarriers. And then from there, I think we're going to need a little bit more housing. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to bring people in. And so we got to collect 200 in taxes. Select a Fabling using the overview menu and assign them to a workplace. Oh, so you can do it from here as well. Okay. So workplaces, there you go. Select with the stone camp. I could like fire her, and then I could add her right there. And then you can select them from right there too. Hopefully, I'm hoping the Fablings get a little bit of like a randomized vibe to them instead of them all wearing the same clothes and having the same hairstyle and things of that nature and kind of the same body shape. I know it's a lot of extra work, but it would be kind of cool if the Fablings, at the bare minimum, maybe the skirts and the upper part, like you divide it into an A color and a B color, and then you just have like 16 colors for each that are randomly selected, or by family or like by household they're selected, which could lead into kind of like an interesting sort of like clan or like family dynamic system with intermarriages and things. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself right now. Purchase a new territory. I feel, what is that thing right there?
Wait, is that my old house? I left my retainer in there.
Oh, okay. So there are Majesty style adventuring locations then. So these ruins right here, what we would need the hero for, to go and investigate it. I personally think, so we've got iron over there. That's another stone deposit. That might help. Let's go in this direction. It says that the heroes aren't available inside this version of the game, but $100 to buy a new territory. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do it. We bought a new territory. We lost a little bit of cash on that, but it'll be okay. We've got 44 coming in from taxes, so that's good. Taxes. All right, so let's see. Just waiting for that one villager to show up, like some pumpkin farmer to show up at the city hall and be like, well, I feel these taxes. And just like complaining, be like, yeah, well, do you like the taxes or do you like the gibbet, sir? Let me waylay a question in your direction, good farmer. Dost thou prefer to pay the taxes or dost thou prefer the hog of the gibbet? You gotta keep these peasants in line sometimes, man. They can get a little bit rowdy with the demands. Let's assign another worker over there, too. Apparently, there's different social classes as well. So there's peasants, there's commoners, and there's nobles. So it does look like, once again, the game is kind of using a similar system to Foundation, where depending on the job that people maybe get, or depending on maybe the services that you're providing, people are going to upgrade their social class. They're going to have that upwards mobility to become like from a commoner to like a noble. That system was I think in the Foundation, you start out as like serfs, and then you move up to like commoners, and then there's like freemen, and then there's like a bunch of different social classes and things. All right, so somebody's got to work at the granary, which means, unfortunately, you're fired already. I'll put you over there in the granary. The granary counts as a public service, which means that we got to pay upkeep on it. So as you can see, our cash went down a little bit. We're not going to get our next batch of immigration for another 7 days, but we do have a house ready to go for those people. Actually, do we? Because we have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, we don't have space for new villagers, so I'm going to have to make another homestead. All right. There we go. Easy peasy. Laborers, go get after it. But yeah, this thing kind of grew like a weed. This is Fabledom. I'm impressed so far. And this is before we've just been kind of free building today. We haven't got to the adventuring mechanics yet. We haven't got to warfare and diplomacy yet because that's not in the demo. We haven't gone to the courtship system and like alliances and diplomacy, which isn't in the demo as of right now. And so anyways, this is a good demo right here that gives you a really good idea of the aesthetic and kind of the gameplay loop that the developers are going for, but it doesn't have a lot of the frosting on top. But I'm convinced thus far from what I've seen that they've done such a good job with the visual design and the contextual UI and the way that the game feels and plays and sounds that once that frosting gets added on in here, we may have ourselves a cake worth taking a look at. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were checking out a title called Fabledom. Tomorrow we'll be checking out a different title. Thank you for sharing your time with me, and for now, I've got to go. Thanks, folks.